Imagine walking into an interview where the hiring manager says, "This is one of the best resumes I've ever read." That's the power of using scope, strengths, and specificity to craft an impactful career success story. Coming up in this video, you'll learn a framework that transforms your resume from a generic list of tasks into a powerful career success story by focusing on three critical elements. First, scope. This is where we identify and articulate your industry and functional expertise. Second, strengths. How to highlight your most relevant achievements that showcase the impact that you've had. And finally, specificity. How to tailor your resume for the roles and the companies that you're targeting so all of these are aligned with your resume. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to position yourself as the ideal candidate and make your executive resume writing process more effective than ever. When I was an executive recruiter, I would look at a resume and I'd ask, does this person fill the talent gap for my client? Can they solve the challenges of this role? Can they come in and hit the ground running? If your resume doesn't quickly and clearly answer those questions, you're simply not going to land the interview. The 3S executive methodology ensures that your resume speaks directly to what recruiters want to see. It's not just about listing your experience, it's about presenting a focused, compelling career success story that positions you as the ideal candidate. The first step is to define your scope. This is all about identifying and clearly defining your expertise, what industries you've worked in, and the roles that you've held. Here's why this is absolutely critical. When a recruiter sees your resume, they need to immediately understand where your value lies. Are you an operations leader in healthcare? Maybe you're a sales leader at a SaaS company. Maybe a marketing leader in the finance space. The clearer you are about your industry and functional scope, the easier it is for those recruiters to see you as the solution. Here's how you can define your scope. First, just list those industries where you've built your expertise, such as technology, manufacturing, finance, healthcare, whatever your industries are. Then identify your functional roles, operations, strategy, marketing. Think about the challenges that you've addressed at the intersection of both your industry and your function. For example, a VP of sales and technology, they might highlight their experience in scaling enterprise-level SaaS revenue. When you start with scope, your resume immediately shows where you're bringing the most value. Once you've defined your scope, the next step is strengths. This is where you highlight the impact that you've made, your biggest career wins that showcase the value that you bring. And here's the key. Focus on recent, relevant achievements that align with where you're headed next. These accomplishments should demonstrate how you've solved challenges, driven results, or created change within the organization, all in the area that you're targeting. Maybe you've done some other things, but they're not directly relevant to where you're headed next. Start by listing your 3 to 5 achievements from the past decade that you are most proud of. Because numbers grab somebody's attention, quantify your results whenever possible. For example, instead of saying improved efficiency, say implemented a process improvement initiative that reduced costs by 20% for this particular area of the company. Keep it relevant. If an accomplishment isn't aligned with the role that you're targeting, then you really have to question whether or not it should be on your resume, especially if it was past the last decade or so. Here's another example. A COO in a healthcare firm might write, streamlined operations across a multi-state system, reducing expenses by $10 million annually while improving patient outcomes by 15%. By focusing on your strengths, you're showing not just what you've done, but the impact that you've had on your organization, which is much more important. The final piece of the 3S framework is specificity. This is where your resume starts speaking directly to the needs of the role and the company that you're pursuing. Here's how to add specificity to your resume. Research job descriptions for your target roles. Pay attention to the keywords like digital transformation, process optimization, or remote team leadership. These are the phrases that the recruiters are going to be looking for, so you want to give them what they're looking for. Use those keywords in your career summary and in your bullet points. For example, instead of saying led projects to improve efficiency, you might write something like implemented Lean Six Sigma principles to streamline production processes, improving efficiency by 25%. And yes, you should tailor your resume for each role. It might take a little extra time, but by aligning your message with the specific needs of the company, it's going to set you apart from the other qualified candidates. But a word to the wise, think of it as tweaking, not rewriting your resume for each role. You see, there's some dated advice out there that says you must create a highly customized resume for each role. That simply doesn't work anymore. Why? Because recruiters, both corporate and executive recruiters, are also looking at your LinkedIn profile. If the resume you sent isn't congruent with your LinkedIn profile, it will make the recruiter pause and then kind of question what you really want to do next. And of course, that causes friction in the hiring process, and that friction might just get you kicked out of the running for the role. Here's a helpful rule of thumb. If you're spending more than 10 or 15 minutes max tweaking your resume for a role, maybe ask yourself, is this role really a good fit for you? If not, your time would be better spent going after roles where you can truly hit the ground running. Let's look at another example. One of our clients, a senior level finance executive, initially had a resume that really read like a job description with a bunch of tasks and responsibilities. Using the 3S framework, we refocused their resume on their expertise in financial strategy and their measurable achievements. And then we aligned that with the role that they were targeting. The transformation was immediate. They started landing more interviews within weeks. This framework helps you position yourself as the solution to the challenges that the recruiters and the hiring managers are looking to solve. When you use scope, strengths, and specificity to craft your career success story, your resume becomes a powerful tool that positions you as the ideal candidate. But to maximize its impact, you need a strong foundation to tie it all together. The next step is to craft your career success proposition. This is your concise value statement that communicates exactly what sets you apart from the other candidates. This foundational message becomes the touchstone of your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your networking conversations as well. In the next video, I'll guide you step by step through creating your career success proposition. This process will pull everything together that you've uncovered so far and will help you clearly communicate the unique value that you bring to employers. Click over to the next video now, and let's keep building your career success strategy.